Welcome everyone. Today we will focus on how to acknowledge others' points while expressing your own opinions professionally. In discussions, it is important to acknowledge what others say before sharing your perspective. This approach helps in building rapport, reducing conflicts, and fostering productive conversations. Let's dive into our first technique. One of the best ways to engage in a discussion without sounding dismissive is to acknowledge the other person's idea before presenting an alternative. A useful phrase for this is, "That's an interesting approach." Let's look at this in action in a code review discussion. Hello, Rahul. I reviewed your code. I think we should use recursion for this function to keep the code concise.
That's an interesting approach, Nina. Recursion is elegant, but do you think an iterative solution might be more efficient for large data sets?
Let's see some key takeaways from the talk. Rahul first acknowledges Nina's ideas. "That's an interesting approach, Nina." This was a phrase which he used. Then he introduces a potential concern in a collaborative way. He used the phrase, do you think?" to invite her thoughts. To keep the conversation open and constructive, now let's move on to another key strategy. Sometimes you may need to disagree with a colleague, but how you say it makes all the difference. A polite way to introduce disagreement is, "I see your point, but then," you can fill in with your points or suggestions. Here is an example in a framework selection debate. "Hey Rahul, let's build the new feature using React Native so it works on both iOS and Android."
I see your point, but since performance is critical, wouldn't a native approach give us better results?
Key points from the talk. Rahul acknowledges Nita's perspective. "I see your point." This is a phrase he uses. Then he introduces an alternative viewpoint while maintaining a positive tone. "Wouldn't a native approach give us better results?" This was the phrase he used. This technique ensures that the conversation stays respectful and productive. Let us see some additional phrases. These are useful to help you navigate discussions smoothly. "I understand where you are coming from, but then," share your thoughts after that. "You make a valid point, however," then you can state your points. "That's a good observation. Have you considered?" Then share your ideas. "I appreciate your perspective." Another way to look at this is, you can then state your own views. Using these phrases can make your discussion more collaborative and professional. To summarize, when engaging in discussions, acknowledge the other person's point first. That's an interesting approach. This is a phrase you can use. Use polite phrases to introduce disagreement. Example, I see your point, but apply additional key phrases to keep the conversation productive. By using these techniques, you will be able to express your opinion effectively and professionally while fostering a positive work environment. Stay tuned and don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe for more such interesting videos.